Yes, we are a little early because we have Ruif here. He decided to join last minute, and he's on a time crunch, so we wanted to get him in as well. And also got Astronomy Live, aka pseudocoder, I guess, is the thing that we're going to call you, I guess. Pseudocoder, not a real coder.
I guess so. I guess I'm a fake coder.
Fake coder. Well, pseudocoder. But so real quick, before you get into the whole Python thing and kind of explaining again in a little bit more detail how these things were edited, because it seems like UNIRock doesn't understand anything about this. And he basically had a bottom-up approach, apparently thinking that the PostScript PDF was edited and then that changed the actual PDF. He was working backwards, right? He wasn't understanding that the PDF was edited through an Adobe Acrobat, and then that can be translated to the PostScript code PDF, which, by the way, Ridge Reddick has on his channel right now a video from Astronomy Live explaining in detail how to do that. But before we do that, we have an update. Ruhif, you like to do
we do have an update, yes. All right, so as people know, we, after the hearing a couple of weeks ago, or a month ago now, we immediately subpoenaed Discover directly for the statements. As of today, we have not gotten a response back from them, but our subpoena to Discover seemed to trigger Kyle to subpoena Ben, and then in response to that, we subpoenaed Kyle. And we subpoenaed Kyle for a bunch of things, but mostly his Discover statements from between July 2019 to June or September or something this year, so basically up to now. He responded to those discovery requests on Monday or Sunday, I think, and our attorney has those responses. We are not allowed to see those responses. They're for attorney's eyes only at the moment, but our attorney has reviewed those responses, and they are quite telling what he has found. So first of all, we requested between July 2019 and September 2020. Kyle only gave us statements from February 2020 onwards. His excuse apparently was he didn't have time or he was too busy to get them all. But as we know from Ben, Kyle in January or February did legitimately actually change his address with the bank. So we know that any statements that he gives us, from February onwards, will have the legitimate address, will have the legitimate intelligent mail barcode, legitimate data matrix, whatever. They're all legitimate statements. What that means is, well, the fact that he didn't supply us with July 2019 to January 2020 January or February did legitimately, very, very clear implication is that he couldn't provide those statements without further perjuring himself.
Incrimination. Self-incrimination.
Yeah, basically. So, our attorney has verified that the legitimate statements that Kyle has provided, he has confirmed that the font between the name and the address field is consistent, whereas we told the court a month ago that the previous statements from August and November 2019, the font was different, and that was one of the clues that tipped us off that they were forged. In these legitimate statements from February to September, whatever, the intelligent mail barcode, the zip code encoded by those, encoded in those statements, the zip code encoded in there is consistent with Charlotte, whereas previously in the August and November statements, the zip code in the barcode said Pleasant Garden, but the printed barcode was Charlotte. And thirdly, the data matrix codes in these legitimate statements matches or is consistent with the statement period of the statement. So, for example, a February statement for the month of February, the predicted legitimate data matrix code should say the 1st of March 2020, and it does. And that again is, this part wasn't lodged in court, but our prediction for the August statement is that it was actually an October statement, and that was confirmed by the data matrix having a date encoded in it of the 1st of November.
Yeah, so the
That's
too
it from
long didn't read version, real quick, in a synopsis is this. The font we recognize to be a mismatch, mainly also because one was in a Microsoft font, the other was an Adobe. With the touch-up things, that was clearly the case where it was a font taken from a different subtable from the Adobe Reader for the edits that were done. That's why we submitted that as an affidavit. That was a fingerprint.
Yep.
That we had no doubt on whatsoever. Also, the inconsistency of the IMB, pretty well fingerprint. There's really there's no reason why that wouldn't mismatch. Those are the reason why we brought those two things to the court's attention. Now, two things we did get wrong, which I'm happily able to let people know. Unlike other channels, we will tell you what we got right and what we got wrong.
I'm sorry. Which channels would they be?
Oh, that'd be, I think, UniRock's channel, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so apparently it's not always a 9-digit zip code. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, and it's not always in font, uppercase for the font.
Okay.
So the fonts were a mismatch, but the address is normally, or at least for Kyle's evidence, was in lowercase, and that was correct. So
yeah, I think the best way to say this is Kyle's own evidence has confirmed our previous affidavit about the barcode.
correct. Yes.
And the fact he didn't turn over the earlier statements. That's
Yeah,
that's
he
pretty
refused
dead.
to turn over the earlier statements. He said he was going to get him, but we all knew that was not going to happen. I'm pretty sure that the lawyer had told him you cannot submit altered evidence to the depot, so he just cannot provide those documents. And when our lawyer asked him to log on to show if they had been altered, he refused. He said he would only do it with the lawyer. We said, okay, fine, let the lawyer do it. He still refused. So it is pretty damning all around. Okay,
Yeah.
so anybody, if we have questions on that, let me know. But Athena got us some wisdom, welfare $2. Sidecharm is a good IDE. I want to look at the code. I haven't used Sidecharm, although I'm thinking about it because I'm going to do some of the stuff. But I use other Python things. But anyways, speaking of Python, hi, Astronomy Live.
Hello.
Hi, Astronomy Live. Good to meet you.
Hi. Good to meet you. Yeah.
Yeah.
First time
So
we've been in a stream together.
real quick, why don't you? Yeah, you guys haven't. But real quick, why don't you give a brief overview of what your video was on Resurrector's channel, because you broke this down to almost a childlike simplicity that still UNIRock's crack team coders couldn't figure out.
Team of
Yeah.
fucking
Crack team, yeah, they're crack team.
crackheads. Team of crackheads.
So I guess there's still questions that people have about it, and I'm happy to answer those questions. So I'll just give a very brief overview. I saw Ruhif's video that was on your channel, Steve, showing how to use the PDF reader library in Python to look at the code of the text in a PDF. And of course, I wanted to replicate that finding and also dig a little bit further in the sense of trying to also replicate the same kind of editing using Adobe Acrobat. So I basically just took the code that was shown in that video, typed it out into Python in Genie, and made a little Python file here. I've since edited this file to add some new stuff, but just going over it briefly here. So I imported that library, PDF Reader, to open the file. We do a opening of the file here and pull it into Simple PDF Viewer. Navigate to page 13 where the Discover card statement is. Render that and extract and print the text content. Now, since then, I've also implemented a few more lines here to split the lines of that text content. So we're making sure this is a string. I'm not sure what this returns. I'm assuming it's a string object, so this is probably redundant. But just to make sure I declare it as a string, then do a split lines on it so that I now have a list of lines, of individual lines from the text content from that PDF. We start an edit counter at 0, and then do a for loop over those lines for L in lines. So for each line, if that line contains the string touch up underscore text edit like that, then the edit count goes up 1. And at the very end, we print out the total number of edits on that page, and then did a file close, file exit. So now I've implemented this just so I can keep track of how many times that's just coming up. So it just automatically counts it for me. Now I've gone ahead and edited the discover statement a little bit more because the claim seems to be made now that other people are having trouble replicating that kind of editing and with that kind of marker coming up, that very specific string touch up underscore text edit. Okay, so I've got here just Adobe Acrobat Pro. That's all this is. I'm running a free trial right now. I got my 2 weeks free on Adobe Acrobat. So as long as I'm done with it in 2 weeks, I won't have to pay a dime on it, which is so because this is the first time I've done this. The first time I needed to go in and edit a PDF like this. So with the edit PDF tool that's just right here in Adobe Acrobat, I just started changing things. So the black box that's over the Discover card statement in the PDF, all you have to do is click on it. Once you click Edit PDF, you can just click on it and delete it and get rid of it. I've also taken that same black box and I've cut it and pasted it into my own bank statements. And guess what I don't see? I don't see that that same string appear just from the black box.
Let me ask you this before we get too far, real quick.
Text edit.
Let me, before we dive in too quick, I got two major questions to ask you so people understand. One, UNIRock seems to have thought that we were accusing Kyle of going into the PostScript PDF code and editing it, like putting in touch-up, edit, and all that. That would change the PDF. I don't know where he got that idea from, which is just utterly nonsensical.
Yeah, I've got one thing as well. The accusation towards us was that we are accusing Scotty Forbes Lee of something. Clearly, we are not.
Correct.
Scotty Forbes Lee is aware, I'm sure, that these are forged. But I mean, if you're a defense lawyer for a murder case, right, and your client says to you, "I murdered the guy," that doesn't make you complicit in it. It just makes your job hard.
Yeah, she's just doing her job. That's all.
It makes your job very hard. Yeah, Scotty Forbes Lee has obviously said to Kyle, "Do not file any more fraudulent documents," and that's why we only got February to September or whatever.
And you would, and it's definitely a given that because we didn't get those ones we asked for, when it goes to the credibility issue that the judge is looking for, it's a done deal. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Our lawyer before the deposition said to us at the bottom of the email, "This is a target-rich environment."
Yeah, that was his words. Okay, so can you point out, Astronomy Live, that how UNIRock may have in his weird narrative thought that that's what we were accusing Kyle of doing, of actually editing the code, and that he had a bottom up rather than a top down approach?
Right. So I don't know why he thought that, but I can tell you this: that's not how this works. It's as simple as just clicking the edit button, and then you could just go into any of these fields, and you can see it's like editing a Word doc. You have these text boxes, and you can just make changes here. So I can change this to
So the location of the text boxes were already there because that was all computer generated. Because he was trying to say, and yes, I watched some of his stream the other night, and I wanted to bang my head against the wall how inept it was. He kept on saying, well, a human couldn't go in and align this properly. I'm like, look, that was all done by computer generation. He just went in and changed some of the information that was all in the text code boxes. He didn't change the location of the text boxes.
When he said if a human did it, it would be horizontal, and if a computer did it, it would be what the fuck was he talking about?
I don't even know what that means.
I didn't even see that part.
Yeah, it was bizarre. Now how many edits did you find in the August one? Do you remember?
So,
should we do it now or not? So there's another claim out there that there are about 100 touch-up text edits in the entire document, so the entire affidavit, 20 pages, whatever it is. When we say there were 60 edits, we mean in the August and November Discover statements.
Combined.
The other touch-up text edits are in the actual text of the affidavit, which he's quite welcome to edit. Nothing wrong with that. Clearly not allowed to edit the statements.
Yeah. I mean, we expect those to have edits because they've been changed. But how many in the actual Discover for August, how many touch-up edits were there?
So for this one, let me just cover this one real quick. This is the one that I've already changed everything I possibly could. Okay, and I came out with 65 changes, which is more than what I find in the version that was actually uploaded to the court. So I can add more, and they don't disappear, because there was also this claim that I wanted to address that if you edit it, they all go away. These markers go away. No, they don't. It just keeps piling up. You keep getting more of them the more you edit the document. Basically, as far as I can tell, and Ruth, if you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but anytime I edit one of these boxes, you get a new one of those text edit touch-up.
Yeah, it's usually one per box, though.
One per box, exactly. Yeah. So I can make as many changes as I want to each box. That doesn't add more, but every box I change,
it encloses a block.
Right, exactly. Okay, so 65 in this ridiculously edited version. Okay, if I'm going to change it now to just ECF 20, which is the one original. I just downloaded straight from the court.
Okay.
Right. I'm not going to show the output. That'll be on a separate window here, just so I'm not doxing anyone's address or anything on the stream. But I'm going to let that run. It'll take it a moment. It's going to count it. So right now it's counting 36 on page 13. Okay, so on that page, there's 36 edits. I can check page 14 as well.
So 36 on page 13. After this, can you do pages 1 to 4 as well, just to add up 100? Yeah.
Sure. So 22 edits on page 14.
Yep.
And so let's see here. I can actually do this a lot easier. Okay, so I'm gonna cheat here. There's another file I've already created that does this a lot better. So it just counts all the edits on pages. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This one is a slightly different one. It goes page by page, but it doesn't count the number on each page. Let me do that real quick. I'm going to bring in this.
And now, so while you're doing this, let me remind people, Ruhif is a master coder. I mean, this is his field of expertise. For all practical purposes, he could literally be called an expert witness on some of this stuff. Astronomy Live has written his own software tracking for rockets and for space stuff. I mean, so they know what they're doing. They have demonstrated they know what they're doing because you can do what's called theory to practice. They can take the theory they know and put it into practice to get real world results, which both of them have, which I've not seen from any other person on the other side. Not one.
Oh, my degree is computing science.
He studied it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I think this is real quick slapdash sort of stuff here, but I think that will work. Let me see if this works. It should go page by page and do a count for each page.
Although I still think you should have gone to biology myself. Whatever. Genetics.
Me?
Yes, you're also a genius at genetics too. All right, so where are we at here?
We're counting the edits on each page.
Okay, so by the way, we'll watch the video on Red Rhetoric's channel. Astronomy Live did make it. Again, I will tell you right now, straight up, figuring out the paths and the stuff to set up the Python correctly is a nightmare. Not going to front. It is very, very difficult. I'm still working on it myself, but the coding is not that hard. And so if you can at least understand the coding, it should be just fine. But to try to do this yourself, I got to admit, you might need a little help because setting it up, if you haven't set up Python before, Ruif, why did it make it so difficult? Because I'm having a hell of a time with it, to be honest with you.
I think when they went from Python 2 to Python 3, they changed the whole structure of the environment, and it's just, it's annoying.
Yeah, so I have recognized that it is difficult to do the paths right, but the concepts behind all this is very simple.
So a couple errors there. I'm not sure what that's all about. Maybe some font issues, but here's your counts for each page. Page 1, 1 edit. Page 2, 2 edits. Page 3, 7 edits.
I believe that says 36
so
on 13.
On 13, there's 36.
And I believe how many did we say that were on that page, Ruhif?
36.
Oh, that matches. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I found, if I remember correctly, I found 36 edits objectively on my own, and that was on the August, and then I found 22 on November, if I remember.
That looks right. Yeah, I'm showing 36 and 22 for page.
So I mean, I've even said that is what I've came up with. That is what Intrigue Feline came up with. I believe that's what Ruhif came up with. Those are objective values that you can actually find yourself. So I don't know where he's getting a
page. Is it sure? You sure you got the right page though? 13, 14. Page 5 just says Exhibit A. It's got nothing on it.
Page 5. Let me look at the actual output on page 5. I'm not sure why that showed 19 there.
There's a glitch in the matrix.
That'd be weird for it to be on page 5, but none of the other. Oh, hang on, I'm looking at the wrong fucking PDF. Sorry, hang on.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
Well, that explains it.
Page 5. Or 5. Yeah, so page 5 is his, it's his it's his brief in support of motion to set aside the default. He's allowed to edit that as much as he wants.
Yeah, we would expect that to have edits, of course. And by the way, Joey said Jason kept claiming that Steve was yelling last night. I was tired as can be last night. I was not yelling. Anybody who watches that video, by the way, I heard they went nuts that I privated it just like I said they were going to do, even though I said I have to go blur some stuff. So I privated it to blur and then put it back out, and they're like all conspiratorial minded. Oh, look at Steve. He was talking smack, and then I private it. I don't private anything unless to blur something and then I put it back out unless there's absolutely reasons, which are very far and few between, but their conspiratorial mindset is just remarkable. But I was tired last night, so yeah, it wasn't my best stream, but I certainly wasn't yelling.
What we should do is actually go through that page 5 at some point and see what he's edited, just for shits and giggles. Like, it's his motion. You can edit it as much as he likes.
Yeah. No, we can do that. Like I said, I'm trying to set this up through a Linux virtual machine. That's why I'm having a hard time with the Python stuff. And so once I get it all set up, I'm going to be going through it with myself, and I won't need you guys anymore. By the way.
Hey.
Oh, I'm getting kicked to the curb already.
Right? Just use you and throw you away like yesterday's news. All right, so where are we going here? So do you want to show how it actually, if you edit through the Adobe Acrobat, because again, he wasn't understanding how it was actually edited. He thought it was edited through the code. When we tried to explain to him, no, it's edited through the Adobe Acrobat. So when you edit something through the Adobe Acrobat, can you actually show the touch-up for the field, that how it actually puts it in there? Because you did in the video.
Again.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I can go. You want me to edit another PDF?
Yeah. Just can you and then find that particular edit to show that that's what it exactly did.
Yeah.
It records it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a video that Red's uploaded from Astronomy Live that shows you a unedited PDF with no touch-up text edits, and then he goes into Adobe to edit it, and then saves it, and then brings it up again and shows that the touch-up text edit marked content point has been added. Like, it's pretty simple stuff.
Okay, so here's ECF 42. Okay,
yeah, real quick. I didn't blur Katie Joy's name. I blurred Kyle's name and address because there could have been privacy concerns. You're not allowed to show name and address on YouTube. If somebody asks you files against that, it's not a strike, but they just ask you to blur it out. I just decided to do it just in case, But yeah, that I actually showed the original PDF file, and I didn't mean to, so I just fixed it. No big deal. So yeah, again, this is all their conspiratorial nuttery that Uni has. He doesn't get anything right. Never has. Wait, no, I shouldn't say that. He got some stuff right initially with the NonSequitur show, and then went south.
I like how, like, half an hour after you tweeted, Ben was deposed today, or Kyle is being deposed today, Uni goes, oh, now I've told you when Ben and Kyle are being deposed. Like, he's obviously just seeing it on you.
He got that wrong, but he actually said, yeah, Ben is out, confirmed. Ben doesn't know what he's talking about. He's like, who the heck did I even talk to, according to him? I'm like, I don't even know, dude. I talked to Ben this morning. He's thrilled to death about everything. He doesn't know what the hell Uni's talking about being sealed. He never asked for anything to be sealed.
Yeah.
Become sealed.
Seal requires an application to the court.
Correct.
You have to apply to the court to have something sealed.
Yeah, so unless you go to the court record right now and show that it's sealed, UNIRock is just demonstrably lying. Not even a question about it.
The evidence that was given in response to discovery subpoenas will be redacted. That is an entirely different thing to being sealed. I imagine we will eventually be shown the subpoena responses. I'm not sure.
I do not know on that.
I imagine we'll get the transcripts of the depositions themselves, which may or may not be redacted.
I would be willing to bet everything I have that the discovery is going to come back and it's going to show the originals were completely different. There's not a doubt in my mind about it.
Oh yeah, like
it's a given.
Forgery's done.
Yeah.
Forgery's done.
And he'd have to know this too. So he has to be betting on the fact that Discover's not going to get him back in time or something. I don't know what his plans are, but
no, he's got nowhere to go. Like I said, the forgery is done. There's literally zero doubt that these things are forged. I don't know what his game plan is or could possibly be at this point.
So
take the L, maybe.
Yeah, I have no idea where he thinks he can go with this. I mean, okay, so here is page 1 of ECF 42. Right now, before I've done anything to it, total number of edits on this page, 0. There are 0 times that this string touch-up _ text edit appears anywhere on that page. It doesn't appear at all. We can just, as a double check, because I know people are trying to say I'm not trustworthy on this. So take
people are saying you're a troll. You were trolling Uni's Periscope.
Is that what I'm doing?
Oh no, it's worse than that. No. He claimed that I sent you over there. He's claimed that I've sent people over to his Periscopes. I swear to God, as my witness, I have never once, ever, nor would I ever ask anybody to go into one of his Periscope things.
Nobody asked me to go over. Nobody.
Wait, are you saying UNIRock lied? Stop that.
Oh, come on.
Nobody asked me to go.
You kid or you?
He called me out. I mean, he mentioned me by name. He was calling me out and demanding a response from me. So why is it surprising when I show up and give a response?
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, Joy points this out, and I pointed this on Twitter too, and so the other people. If this was sealed, then how would Jason know what was in there?
Good question. Next question.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Oh, did I lose Riff? What happened here?
See,
Whoops! I clicked clicked where I shouldn't have clicked.
I kicked you out. It was all me. It was all
Yeah,
my
so I
fault.
wanna make- I just wanna make-
no, Rex is here. I'm going.
Yeah,
Fuck
so I
you,
want
Rex.
to make
I'm
it very
out.
clear that accusation that I sent Astronomy Live over there, anybody, is just absolutely a lie. Like anyone
Anyway,
else.
I do
says.
have to go.
All
I've
right,
got to go
thank you,
pick up
buddy.
some kids from school.
All right, go do your thing, man.
Cheers. Catch us all later. See you.
all right. See you, Ruhu.
Question, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Before we got started, did we make sure to call Astronomy Live a communist?
No, but feel free. Well, actually,
Hey, commie. How's it going?
the question is this: have you or ever been a member of the Communist Party?
No.
That was the Senate hearings for the McCarthy Senate hearing.
Right.
A little history lesson there.
So page 1 of ECF 42. No touched up text edits, none. Right.
Nope.
So here's how you make them. Okay. And it's real simple. You can just go in here. Let's see here. Click Edit PDF. All right. Now we can go in and start making changes. I
Is
can
this
change
that
this.
step by step that was already uploaded on my channel, but for some reason Uni didn't see it as a step by step?
Well, he can't. First of all, he's never watched anything. He clearly didn't watch anything on my channel because he got everything wrong. He didn't understand what the hell he was looking at. And then he said, "Well, from what I've been told by my crack team of coders, he's like,
coders
Steve,
on crack, coders on crack."
He's like, Steve did this, and this, and they're like, people like, to me, like, he didn't watch it. He didn't even watch what you had. He didn't even watch the video. He literally comments on videos he doesn't watch. That's about as inept a commentator as you can get.
He was asking for a step by step, and I'm like, Uni, you moron! That's exactly what that video was.
Literally a step by step.
I mean,
Yeah.
how is this new from any of these people?
I don't
Quite
know.
frankly, it's not like Kyle ever knew shit all about what he was talking about on NonSequitur anyway.
All right, so we got a Kawasa. We have a
I was
super
on
chat.
it once and I had to carry the show about something I heard about like days before. I didn't even know who the guy was.
Kawasa 10,001, a small donation for savings for the Bye Bye Kyle party. Oh, thank you.
There will
Kawasa.
be booze.
Bye bye
There will
bye.
there will be strippers.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, the fact that the fonts didn't match and the IMD didn't match is enough confirmational evidence combined with the touch-up edits to show the judge that these are forged. There's no question about it. I mean, this will go to the DA. However, to get the subpoena back, which should be hopefully maybe tomorrow, we're hoping, by the end of the week, Monday and next week at the latest, hopefully. But that'll be the quintessential nail in the coffin.
Yeah,
But it's not
as of right now, I just want to point something out. UNIRock actually put a percentage on how confident he is that Kyle did not forge anything. And what he said was, and I shit you not, what he said was, they've said, again, this is from Uni. I'm not putting words in his mouth, but he said, based on what you have shown so far, there is only a 1% chance that Kyle actually forged anything.
Yeah, well, he's 180 degree backwards.
Is he willing to put money on that?
I am. I'll put
I'm willing.
$1,000 on it.
Let's do it. I'm willing to bet channel for channel.
Yeah, I mean, Rufus is putting up to $10 million on this. He's overconfident. But I mean, it's a surety. It's a safe bet, so that's why we don't care. But real quick, can you do me a favor on the high YouTube thing? Can you change the font on that, please, to something? Pick your own font, whatever your font. Surprise me.
Do you have Bank
Comic
Gothic? Comic Sans?
Oh,
Comic
anything
Sans,
but
right.
Comic Sans. What the hell's wrong with you? All right, no, go ahead. Read Chabot, $5. Are there any changes indicated in the PDF that would be weird for Kyle to make? Just playing devil's advocate. Well, if you look,
There was one.
the only one I thought was weird was the check, but I think it was a
Yeah.
cash deposit, and he just changed ASH to SHECK. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I think probably happened because we couldn't figure out why he changed the check, but that would make sense if it was a cash deposit. I don't know why he put check deposit, but
Kawasa, how did he calculate that probability? He pulled it out of his ass. He said that based on what we have been able to show, he is only 1% confident that Kyle actually forged documents and submitted those documents to the court. But yeah, but keep in mind that UNIRock is kind of a moron. So
I disagree. He's not kind of. He just straight up is.
Yeah, you know,
I'll argue with that.
UNIRock is a moron. Therefore, don't put any stock in those figures.
1 in the chat if you think he's kind of a moron. 2 in the chat if you think he's an absolute moron. Please let us know. This is for data purposes.
We're doing we're doing
science.
Surveying. Yeah.
I have a question though. What the hell negative has Astronomy Live ever said about UNIRock? Ever?
I have no idea.
I don't think he said one negative thing about the dude.
I don't know.
No, I don't think I've ever mentioned him.
Yeah, Justin, be careful, Steve, because according to Uni, authorities are investigating you for harassment, cyberstalking right now. Hi, my name is Steve McRae. My address is public. Everything about me is public. Come at me, bro. Yeah, that's just absurd. Look, I mean, we're actually looking at harassment from Kyle when he submitted false DMCAs, right? I mean, so no, this is there's something in the law about truth being always affirmative defense. Everything we've said is truthful. Everything. There's no defamation to be had. He needs to stop worrying about that kind of narrative and start worrying about, hey, how am I going to keep my ass out of jail narrative or prison even.
I would very much like people to understand this is that when UNIRock says that there's investigations, afoot and currently in progress, don't listen to him. He's blowing smoke.
No, I got a better way. Regardless of what UNIRock says, don't listen to him.
That are screenshotting Twitter accounts that may or may not actually be Steve, because if we recall, they're also the ones who were stupid enough to be like, "Oh, look, I found Steve on a divorce code forum."
Yeah, and impersonation accounts and fake accounts. By the way, they've been taken care of. All right, so let's go back to Astronomy Live. Show us what you got here, Ben.
Okay, so basically what I did is I changed 4 things. Okay, so we had hi YouTube, changed this to bros, changed this to inferior, and I changed this to defense. Now, the reason I did 2 edits in this one box is just to demonstrate that even if you change 2 totally different lines, if they're in the same box, it'll only count once. You'll only see one touch-up
per text box, yes.
Block, right. So if I come back to my program then...
It should show you different locations for TD, though.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
For the TD, for the text box locations, it should be different locations for those things, obviously, wouldn't there be? Your spacing, your TW might change, and your TD location will change within the box.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm just saying...
Well, for the people that are trying to figure out the code, though.
Right. I'm just talking about the total number of times touch-up text that it will appear.
All right.
So, as you can see, 3, just as we expected. I changed 3 boxes. I got 3 touch-up text edits. So my program is just counting this as 3 edits because what my program is doing is it's looking over each line and it's looking for that string, touch-up text edit. And then it's adding that to the count. Okay, so we have that 3 times here. And you can see right away, first box right off the bat, we've got a touch-up text edit here. And here we go, hi YouTube. And then here's your font. So I changed the font. So that's different than the font that it started off on. Now it's this new font. It doesn't match what was above. So yeah, it's altered the font. Obviously, I've changed the text. And then finally, you have the closing of that box here, ET. So you got the touch-up edit, you got the BT starting that box, starting anything that was edited in that box, and then it closes up there.
Now all the edits are between that begin text and end text.
Exactly. So sorry, ET here, and then we have another one right away here where I changed it to bros, and then it closes up again. And now we have another box, BT once more, and general court, blah, 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 court division.
Now, keep in mind that we want to make sure, because I know Uni and his crack team are not going to understand this. The new font that was given, the C/C02, and then the point size, like 10, that comes from the table for this particular PDF. So that's going to be different from the other one. So just because they see that and go, oh, look, the other one had 2_0, therefore it wasn't edited. No, that table is unique to this particular page or the PDF that was submitted. And then, like you notice, the initial one was completely different.
Oh, it's also unique to the actual font that you choose, also.
Well, I mean, like 2_0 would correspond to whatever the font is for that font table. But and looking at the font tables, I didn't get into, but Ruhiv did. I don't know if Astronomy Live, did you dig that deep into the font tables?
No, I didn't really dig that deep yet.
Okay.
I'm just starting off.
So they don't
I mean,
correspond to a
really-
specific font always. It's whatever the font table has it allocated as. And then there's a
Right.
sub font table underneath that shows that there's an additional font that has been added, even if it's the same font, even if it's still Futura Book. By the way, I finally got that right. It kept saying like Future Black or whatever. It's Futura Book, and I know that. But I've been yelled at if I make that mistake again. There'll be severe repercussions, and I don't want that. So it was Sweet Heathen that has threatened me. Yes, she does threaten me. So it is Futura Book on the one that Kyle submitted, but on this one, that number could correspond to a completely different font. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to clarify that
So-
because you know that his crack team of coders get confused.
Coders on crack. Get it right, Steve.
I'm just saying, crack team of coders. You can infer what you want.
Steve, I'm telling you exactly what to infer.
And so again, I was really just trying to keep it very simple in my video, which is one of the reasons why I only touched on the address part of it, just to keep it real simple, real brief, and show, look, here's your telltale sign that edits have been made. Right off the bat, that's a huge red flag right there. And sure enough, corresponding to the number of boxes you edit, that's going to give you the number of touch-up text edits that you find in the document. And it doesn't require going in and coding like a hacker and changing the code manually or doing anything like that. You can do this in Adobe Acrobat Pro. This is the current version, whatever. I just downloaded it the other night, and I'm on my 14-day free trial. And so even the current version of Adobe Acrobat, this is what you get. And so every one of these boxes that I change is just going to increment that one more. The box position isn't going to change unless I move it around. I can move it around, but I don't have to. I can just leave it where it is and just change what's in it. It's not that hard. This is pretty simple stuff, I think.
Yep. Yeah, and here's the thing. Like I said, UNIRock had it completely backwards. I think he was doing it from, we were accusing Kyle of going in and changing the code, and that would change the PDF. Made absolutely no sense. He was babbling about fields and values and...
To know how to code. Wait, hold on. What? Why would we ever say that?
Yeah, I don't think he knows anything about the postscript because when he was asked about this stuff, right, he was like, I don't know. He's like, why would this be any different?
Something like that when what we're saying is the exact opposite, that there's no way Kyle knows how to be intelligent about this.
Yeah, I don't think he would have been able to figure it out at all.
No. I mean, he probably didn't even realize that, okay, so a lot of things are hidden in plain sight, such as every single program you open has code.
Uh-oh. Did we get it?
Coding like this and behind it. Tracks it.
And she's back.
She's back. Yes, her internet has been absolute dog shit.
Do you want to
that's
review what you
weird.
just said before I read the super chat?
Okay. Well, so yeah, sorry, what I was saying is that it's a lot of things hide in plain sight. So any program that you're using on your computer has things like this inside of it. Every single thing. Your phone has it. Any kind of like your fridge might have it if you've got a fridge that's it will clock, it will check things, it will log information. And so I would not expect the average person to really think about this when they're just doing like their taxes, or if they're just making a quick note on their phone, and if you go in and change it, you can track that change. But this is a situation that if you're gonna be stupid enough to commit fraud, that you should probably think ahead about whether or not something like this is traceable on what you're changing. And absolutely not would we ever think that Kyle is smart enough to have done that.
Yeah, and by the way, we hadn't caught it right off the bat. I mean, it wasn't until he got a lawyer and there were some other things that we had noticed were screwy. And then, of course, Ben came along and said, look, I didn't sign this, so there's forgery there. Then we started doing a little deeper dives. But we knew about...
At that point, it was Ben that tipped us off, because when Ben informed us that one document that he submitted to the court was forged, we asked ourselves, oh, really? What else could he have possibly forged? And then at that point, the deep diving started.
Yeah, and we actually had people that knew what they were doing, unlike the other side. Let me read the super chat.
And it turns out the whole ball of wax is a ball of forgery almost.
Yeah, everything.
Like almost
everything
he submitted is fraudulent. Almost everything.
Here's $10,000 in a roll. Only the outside is a 20, and the rest is all just Monopoly paper.
Kawasa
Yep.
5001. This feels so much like when I try to change the report card before showing it to mom. Do kids get report cards these days? It's all digital now. Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
It's kind of the
And for
thing.
some reason, that one A you got is a block A, and every other A is a cursive A on your report card. Why is that? Probably because you changed it from an F.
Yeah. And somebody else I want to read
At Red Strike, didn't Jason accuse you of editing these documents? If he did, then he's an absolute moron.
Yeah, actually, he said Discover altered them. Let me make that very clear. These touch-up edits would not be from the bank. These are manual edits after a PDF has been created. The initial one from a bank is computer generated. It just gets the code, it gets from a database, it puts it into a specific format. There would be no reason whatsoever to have a touch-up edit.
Let's hypothetically say that UNIRock actually did say that. So UNIRock, listen, bro, tip from the top. Let's hypothetically say that I did the thing that you are accusing me of, that I edited these documents, somehow was able to slip it into the dockets without anyone noticing whatsoever. Let's just pretend that I was able to do that. Why didn't Kyle then completely squash all this fucking conspiracy or whatever by logging onto his Discover statements during his deposition? He had the opportunity to clear his name right then and there, and he didn't take it.
I should also.
What do you think the deposition was for, buddy?
I should also
prove your credibility. You don't have much credibility.
That's true.
Prove your credibility, so let's say that I did edit these documents. Let's say I edit these documents to make it seem like Kyle was a disingenuous piece of shit. All he had to do to clear his name was log on during the deposition, show the Discover statements as they're pulled up on the fucking computer, and that would have settled it and be like, see, look, I didn't change anything. That's how it is.
All right, let me make this very clear, by the way, because I don't think we made this very public before, but I will now. When we submitted the Discover subpoena, Discover told us that Kyle has until the September 9th to give something to them saying why he doesn't think they should fulfill the subpoena. Him and his lawyer could have done that. They did not. His lawyer did not contact Discover to get the subpoena squashed. That's probably another wrong term. But basically, well, it wasn't quashed either, because she could have done something through the court, right? But she hasn't done anything through the court. But she could have contacted Discover directly and said, on certain grounds, we don't want this subpoena to be, I guess, what's the word? I guess subpoena honored. Yeah, good word, honored. They did not do this, and so. The 10th was a Sunday. 11th, I believe, was Monday, wasn't it? Which was a holiday. No, 11th was Sunday. 12th was a holiday. So now that it's past that time, Discover has gotten back to us. They told us they will give us the documents, and it should be any day now. So
there we go.
There you
But
go.
yeah, in other words, if I faked these documents, it should have been very easy for Kyle to prove that during his deposition. I wonder why he did it.
But hey, UNIRock said that Scotty Lee Forbes logged on to Kyle's computer through Google Sync. Think about that.
By the way, hang on. I just want to point this out. I was listening to UNIRock's Periscope because, well, you do crazy shit when you're bored.
By the way, it's October 9th. I'm sorry, October 9th, not by September 9th.
October 9th.
October. Last week, yeah. Sorry, my bad.
But he was saying like, oh, these people are, chatting shit about Scotty. And let me tell you something. Did it ever occur to you, UNIRock, that maybe, just maybe, Kyle is also lying to his lawyer?
What?
Did that possibility ever cross your mind?
No,
maybe,
never thought about that,
maybe
dude.
Scotty isn't lying on behalf of Kyle. Maybe Scotty was fed bullshit by Kyle and is simply operating on the information she was able to get from her client. Maybe, just maybe, this is Kyle's fault, not Scotty's. So if Scotty is operating on false information, You blame the person that lied to her in the first place, not Scotty herself. You dumb fuck.
Yeah, let's
Wait,
keep,
hold on.
keep the cursing down. My videos are getting slammed because of cursing.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just wanted to point that out. That you can make the argument that Kyle is lying, but not slam Scotty.
Yes, of course.
It is a possibility.
Yeah, she did not log in.
He doesn't know how to come to that. Apparently, UNIRock couldn't even conceive of that possibility.
Yeah, UNIRock lied about that.
Though,
yeah.
Is this not the same group of people who flipped out and accused us of harassing when we said, "Hey, don't talk about his lawyer"?
Yeah,
don't
worse
talk
is
about
UNIRock was saying, "Oh, I got a bunch of stuff to send to Scotty Lee," and that's harassment. That's called ex parte, and sending stuff to a lawyer and for a case like that from a person of a nobody that has no relevancy to anything, that could be construed as harassment.
Well, I also don't seem to
actually
recall any of us ever calling her a liar either.
Nope. What I said was that Scotty.
So that outrage.
Yeah, what we've all said was that Scotty was given a big ball of you know what, F, and told to un-F it. And you know what? That's not Scotty's fault, and Scotty's doing the best she can with the information that she got. Unfortunately, if the information she got was from Kyle, and Kyle was lying to her, then what is she supposed to do?
Well, you have to look at it this way. You have to look at it from the position that Jason's running these bizarre narratives that are BS, right? So he's saying, he's saying that, hey, look, I was told by Kyle, okay, well, that was your first mistake. If that was the case. I think he's just pulling the stuff, out his yin yang. But let's give him principal charity that he did hear this from Kyle. That Scotty logged on through Google Sync. Wrap your head around that, because that makes no sense. But let's say that she logged in to the computer. She would then know whether these things were true or false. So if that was the case, if it was true, she would not want Kyle to log on to it during the deposition. If it was false, she would want Kyle to log on to show Scott, right? So if that was the true story, if that was the case, then UNIRock's scenario would have at least made sense. But I'm thinking, because of course she never logged on to this, she didn't know what to expect. Never ask a question of a client that you don't know the answer to. I don't think she wanted him to log on at all, right? I mean, because Scott did want her to log on, and she
basically I want to make
their scenario constitutes lying on the lawyer's part.
I just want to make it clear is that if Kyle lied to Scotty and then Scotty proceeds with that information, you blame Kyle. You don't blame Scotty.
Yeah.
So, and to make this clear, we have said from day one that we don't blame Scotty for a damn thing. Scotty is doing her job, and she deserves to be shown respect. Unfortunately, Uni doesn't seem to care about respect at all.
But according to his narrative, right? Now think about it from his BS. If she knows this is true, then us saying that Kyle forged them, calling him, a forger, which is the indications are overwhelming of that, then we're also calling her, a complicit or conspiratorial, or that she lied. That does not follow. This is the problem with UNIRock's inability to understand simple logic or reasoning. He does not, in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm. Go figure, right?
Yeah. Because it just wouldn't follow. But in his mind's eye, that follows, right? He's like, oh, well, if Scotty logged on, then she has to be complicit in this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, not necessarily the case. But she didn't log on. She didn't check any of this. You don't do it through Google Sync anyways.
Yeah, you can call Kyle a liar and not extend that to Scotty. UNIRock, get your head out of your ass.
Can you give AT2 the link? Quick?
Absolutely.
Sure. Okay, we left Astronomy Live hanging. He's probably like dying at this point. I'm sorry, Astronomy Live. We did not mean to like.
Yep. My apologies, you communist.
Blame you, Red's rhetoric. You know what he's like.
Okay, well, I don't know what I was talking about before we got on the other
so you're saying you don't know what you're talking about? Okay, that's a soundbite for Uni right there.
Yeah, that's what left my mouth. So I guess that's what's going on somebody else's channel. I was just gonna mention this tweet that I received from Zag Creations. I don't know if you know who this is. I don't know who this is, but they asked in response to my invitation Uni to discuss this with me on my channel. If if he has a problem with red, that's fine. Let's just have this on my channel and let's discuss it, because I'm happy to step through this again and answer any of his questions about it, and explain my process and show it live. I'm not hiding anything.
There's no chance in the world he's going to do that. You know that, right?
Well, what's amazing to me is that other people seem to think there's some merit to his criticisms of me and that I'm hiding something. Because here's the response that I got to that from Zag Creations. Why only Uni? Why not show community step by step if it's so easy to prove? Agreed on a start point. Step trace through your entire procedure on camera, no jump cuts. Let the community decide proof. Don't hide behind BS. Openly show it all in a single sequence. Ready, set, go. Nope. Seriously, this is what I just did.
Yeah, they're conspiratorial mindset. They're like literally flat Earth level denial. What they do is they argue like a flat Earther, and then they have the audacity to say that we're flat Earthers. And it's like, are you kidding me? Hang on. This is why they are not part of any debunk community. Matter of fact, on Twitter, I had asked a bunch of debunkers, has UNIRock ever been considered at any time a member of the debunk community? And they're like, are you kidding? No.
Just no.
Just no.
What do you mean Reds filmed a launch to landing rocket without any cuts
CGI.
whatsoever? What do you mean Chesh went ahead and compared the signatures live and went and got them live and over
without any cut?
Without a single cut. What do you mean Astronomy Live just did this, offered to explain it further, and people are like, but why won't you talk to me though?
Which he just did. There's no jump cut here, obviously. This is real time.
We discussed this already, and let me tell you exactly why we want to do it in this way. The reason we want to do it in this way is because we don't want to give UNIRock the chance to go back, think long and hard about how he can play dumb about what Astronomy Live was showing. It is better to have a conversation right there, live, so that any questions or bits of confusion can immediately be rectified right then and there. And that way, you can make the goal of not ending the call until there is a full and complete understanding from UNIRock. Unfortunately, UNIRock doesn't want understanding. He just wants to continue to play dumb because Kyle is his best friend in the whole wide world, and Steve McRae is a meanie head poopy pants.
There's two mistakes you made. One, first of all, they're 8-hour streams only, so you would run out of video. Okay.
Okay.
8 hours. What was the second thing you said that was off? Whatever. It doesn't matter. But let me make it very clear. I don't do this for UNIRock. He's never going to understand this. It's not for UNIRock.
My biggest problem is he said UNIRock would understand. I don't think.
Oh, that's what it was. Thank you. That was the second thing. That's what he was wrong about. Yeah, exactly. That's not going to happen. We do this not for UNIRock, and not even necessarily for the people that follow him, because I'm sorry. If they're following him and they believe what he's saying, they're even worse than he is.
They're idiots. They're absolute morons.
Who's dumber, the leader or the person following a person who's putting out misinformation on purpose for?
UNIRock is the type of guy that would say, if he was on the Titanic, the ship can't be sinking. My end just rose 200 feet.
We want you guys, so when this goes further, right, and we have shown everything, and this will go to the DA and we get NonSequitur back. This is all information that's out there that people go back and verify in perpetuity.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're in a situation where, like it or not, you've got this problem where you've got to come into a situation where you're actually willing to understand what's going on, but offering for somebody like UNIRock or offering for a flat earther to actually, have the opportunity to ask a professional and check their points and actually try to get the accurate info. I don't know if you guys remember when he was touting around before that, I just always want to get both sides. Here's a very good demonstration that that's not the case. He does not care to get information verified or get information accurate. But this is a perfect example. Astronomy Live hasn't said boo to UNIRock at all. He's never said anything bad about the guy. Like, I understand not wanting to go on Reds' channel. I understand he doesn't want to go on Steve's channel. I would understand that he doesn't want to come on my channel, but Astronomy Live?
Yeah, right. What did he ever do?
The thing that he has done
Totally
is
was wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That's
no
it.
more than he does.
That's it. Basically, it all came down to Astronomy Live does not agree with me. Therefore, he's evil. He's a messed up piece of you know what. Don't trust this guy. All because Astronomy Live made a video and illustrated something that doesn't agree with Uni's narrative.
Let me make something. Sorry, let me make something very clear here, because one of the ways in which he's trying to set the stage for I'm not going to talk to him because X. X in this case is I associate with you, Red, and I'm here in this stream. It's guilt by association. He associates with these terrible people, therefore he is a terrible person. Let me make something very clear here. Nobody told me to go talk to him at all. Nobody told me to invite him to my channel at all. In fact, I would argue that Red didn't want me to do that. He wanted it on his channel. I didn't care. Like,
yeah. But I actually called him and I was like, dude, don't fuck me on this.
And I told him no. I told him no. No one's making this decision for me. This is my decision.
And I wouldn't have cared either way. I had nothing to do with any of that. So I was not in those discussions, I assure you.
You've got a situation where he's trying to do something that we've explained before, where it's a matter of fostering a situation or fostering a community.
I got an analogy for the way UNIRock seems to think that this all works. A nice analogy that I'm sure Astronomy Live will definitely appreciate, but other sysadmin programmer types will get it too. The UNIRock is making this the equivalent of changing your email destination by going back into your sendmail log file and changing the IP address of the receiving computer. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, you've got this situation that UNIRock is trying to display.
Just got a weird hum. Is that from you?
Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's probably me. Is this a little bit better?
Way better. Now we can actually hear what you're saying. Thank you.
Okay, so there's a situation that we've got going on where UNIRock is trying to say that, oh, well, Astronomy Live is friends with Reds, and I don't like Reds, and therefore I won't talk to Astronomy Live, which seems to be an interesting contradiction to how he treated how he behaved before Steve made him angry when it came to any other kind of scenario where he wanted to talk to anybody that he could. But as soon as he doesn't like somebody, he draws this line in the sand and then points fingers and says, oh, you guys are making people pick sides. And it's like, what are you talking about? You've got the encouragement of harassing of Steve's daughter that is going on in your chat. Meanwhile, you're like, but Astronomy Live's a bad person because he talks to Red's rhetoric sometimes about flat Earth.
He also is the guy that makes my rocket tracking rig work. He wrote the program for it. I mean, without his knowledge of how to code and how to make programs, I wouldn't be able to do the things I'm doing to the quality that I'm doing them.
So let me ask you, there's clearly 3 people who have been in this hangout that know coding pretty well. They know computers. Bullinator, Bruhif, and Astronomy Live. All 3 of them demonstrated proficiency in this topic. Now, I used to program a long time ago in Visual Basic. I mean, I understand the concepts, although I just don't. Bullinator, I've talked to you, and you could, even though I have a lot of questions, there is at least a foundation there of some understanding, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. You're asking the type of questions that somebody who has an idea of how it should work.
Yeah, getting there is the difficult part, right? Exactly. I was like, okay, I don't understand the concepts here, but how do I make this happen? Because I don't have any experience with stuff later on. I will admit I'm much like UNIRock. I did this back in the 90s, right? I mean, and a lot of it was using a hex editor. This is why I know what he's talking about, but it's outdated stuff.
Do you need to let AT2 in? Is he like sitting in
I
the
just said, you can only have six people, and that's why. Shoot, I didn't see him sitting there.
I'll get out of the way. I'll get out of the way.
I wasn't paying attention.
You probably have more to say than I do.
Okay.
I'll see you guys later.
All right. So I'm out.
Bye. See you, Josh.
All right, Jared. Sorry about that, buddy.
Wow, what timing? Right as I'm about to grab the taco to munch down, someone bows out to let me in.
Now, do you do programming too?
Thank you, honey.
I don't remember.
Not so much computer programming anymore. I do more PLC programming and ladder logic in that way. But even still, holy fucking hell, do they get it wrong?
Yeah, I programmed in Visual Basic. I wrote a database or two. That's not that difficult programming. But I also started programming on like a Texas Instruments computer 994A. I've done Visual Basic. Let's see, I didn't do any C programming. Did some Pascal.
Astronomy Live, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
At what point did you program something? Did you make a program where by shining a light, you could have the telescope follow that light?
So the very first version of what became my rocket tracking software, where it was following a light, and I was in my apartment. That was years ago. That was before even house.
Exactly. That's the reason why I'm bringing up this question, because I wanted to ask you, when did you upload that video?
I couldn't tell you exactly when I uploaded that video, but I can tell you that program originated even before it was based in video-based tracking. It spawned from a program I wrote for tracking asteroids. Remember the Halloween asteroid? There was this asteroid.
Yeah, the skull. Yeah.
Yeah, the skull-looking one. That was the very first thing I tracked with my telescope using a program I wrote myself. That program was then adapted and modified until it became what it is now, where I'm tracking rockets.
And roughly how many years are we talking?
It feels like it's been probably about 5 years. I don't know.
5 years. Okay, so we have at least, with Astronomy Live, a roughly 5-year history of him being able to code. Now, what credentials can UNIRock throw in our face to make us believe that we should trust his word over, let's say, Astronomy Live's?
None.
Zero.
None. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And because he relies on, he keeps on saying, my code of experts. I don't know anything about this stuff with what they tell me. So he's basically unable to even question whether he's being told something that's true or not.
Here's a question. Who are these experts? Please bring them forward. We would love to talk to them.
Both.
So we can...
I know the answer to that. It's the gaggle of dipshits around him.
Yeah, I could guess.
Well, I know the answer.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for him to come up with a reasonable explanation. Oh, wait, you can't. As to why we have no clue who these experts are, because you won't produce them.
Exactly. And I do have a correction for Reds and something that he said earlier when I was in the backstage portion listening in. Red, as someone who has actually tried to have a conversation with Jason, he can't follow a simple train of thought without getting lost. And you think you'd be able to talk any sense to him in any duration over any topic?
That is an understatement, by the way. Matter of fact, people remember the I think the one and only time. I think I had him on like twice or 3 times, but the last time I had Jason on, it was one of the most excruciatingly painful things I've ever had to go through in my life on air, and that is saying something because I've dealt with flat earthers. I literally had to take my headphones off and just talk. He could not follow the most simplest line of reasoning. I was like, holy God Almighty, this guy is completely incompetent. I am Moon for $5. If stupid could fly, Uni would be a jet. Also missed you all. I'm glad to be back, and we're glad to have you back.
Glad to have you back too. I'm just pointing out the fact that it's not just that Astronomy Live can say that he has experience with coding. You all have seen the fruits of that labor with the multiple rocket launches that he has been able to post, with the tracking that he has done of celestial objects. He captured pretty much, it was an automated thing that he did this by. This telescope automatically tracked a Falcon Heavy rocket and its boosters from launch to landing.
I can confirm that the software works too, because I've watched it work in person. It's not like I've just seen it on Red Stream. So, the one launch I went to, there was I think it was a previous version, but it was,
so let's do this.
Just real quick. On one hand, we have a guy who has demonstrated their knowledge in this, coding thing. And then we have, on the other hand, UNIRock, who's basically talking out of his ass. Who are you going to trust?
Okay, so let's do this. First, Reed for another $5. Thank you, Reed, buddy. I don't know if Reed does coding or not. He says, let's put Uni to sleep. Can we pull another Discover statement from this court in another case and show it has no edits, work backwards for proof? I don't know anybody that has Discover. So if you know somebody, then we could try. But let's do this. So we know Uni is never going to show up for any of this stuff. Okay, he challenges people. He never shows up. He challenged Chester to debate. Uni challenged Reg to debate. He'll never show up for these things. We get that. How about this though? Let's see, Astronomy Live, if one of his crack coders will talk to you on your channel. How's that?
I mean,
Ooh.
yeah. I don't even know who this would be, but sure.
I've got some names of I think of people he's referring to, but that's he'll have to like give those names up. I have a few ideas, but he can give them to you. I mean, if these crack coders are so sure of themselves, why don't they come in and talk to you?
Just
That's a
like
very good
Busy, they are figments of his imagination.
No. I know that the two exist, but they're not as like proficient as he's making them out to be, right? I mean, they're clearly they have no idea what the hell they're doing because they haven't been able to figure any of this out yet.
Besides, Jared, we already know that Kyle is busy.
Nice.
That was one of the greatest. That was one of the greatest Meta's responses of all time. Why didn't you give us what we asked for? I was busy. Okay.
Now there is another bit of correction that I would like to make of a comment that I heard earlier as well. At this point I would not compare Jason and his gaggle to flat earthers, because flat earthers are at least honest in their stupidity or dishonesty.
No, I don't know about that. I mean, I know some flat earthers that do it just for the like Jeranism. Come on, he's just a Poe.
Most of them are, especially the ones who are actually a recognized name, but they are what they are, and they don't play the games that Jason does.
This is true.
I don't know. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I put him on the same level. I mean, Jason's no different. I mean, the way he thinks, I mean, like you said, trying to have a conversation with him to get him to understand a line of reasoning is impossible. It's not difficult. It is impossible. And I find that to be a lot of the cases when the flat earthers I talk to, they do not understand simple lines of reason.
Oh, Steve, don't get me wrong. Flat earthers are in the intellectual basement, but I put Jason in a pit in that basement.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't mind talking to anybody about this. I have nothing to hide here. I'm not faking these results, and I'm happy to step anyone through it. I offered my channel as a location to have this discussion with UNIRock as a courtesy, because he seems to have this major issue with Red and with you and whoever. And so, I'm coming in from the outside here saying, look, I found evidence how this was done. Here's what I found, and I can replicate these results perfectly using Adobe and manually editing it. And so I offered my channel as a location, as a courtesy, not necessarily because I really wanted to, because honestly, that's not what my channel is about. I keep my channel very specifically focused on astronomy and spaceflight related topics. Honestly, if I make any video about this on my channel, it's mostly going to confuse my subscribers, although some of them are definitely shared between all of us probably. A lot of people subscribe to me just to see me track satellites and stuff and get access to my open source software and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is coming out of left field for them. And even Red can probably relate to this to some extent. He's had a lot of new subscribers because of his launch to landing footage of Salcom. And, a lot of those new subscribers are looking at these videos about a court case and they're like, what is this all about?
Oh, yeah, that did happen.
So
I'm sure it has.
That's sorry, go ahead, Bull.
It's because it has nothing to do with y'all's subject.
Right. So I really prefer, if it's going to be on my channel, I prefer it to be with Uni. If I'm happy to talk to anybody on it. Maybe we can get another third-party channel on here that's neutral. That
that'd be fine too. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be on your channel. Just I want him to somebody to talk to you. Where it's at is irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
We can have it on. I mean, Bull and I'm sure can find something. You can have a Cheshire's channel. It doesn't matter where it's at. But by the way, there's another coder in the live chat, Andrew Kroll. He said he hasn't had a chance to actually do exactly what you did, but he does agree that your findings would be what we would expect, I guess. He calls it legitimate. So, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Look, most of us have had some kind of experience with computers. I don't think it takes that much to understand the concepts here. Does it kind of revolve a little bit of knowledge to go in and set this stuff up? Yes, as I'm finding out, trying to set up Python through your Windows or Linux is not easy. But conceptually, it's just straightforward. And I don't think that you really need to go into the myopic detail, but to show that it is possible in real time to do this. He's just done it on this channel, and he's done a whole video that's on Red's Rhetoric's channel. That's in the video description that Chester's put in the live chat. So I don't know what else his coders want. And again, we're not doing it for them. We're showing you how dishonest these people are. That's it. And we don't care what they think because it doesn't matter to the judge, right? It doesn't matter to the lawsuit. We've already established that Kyle has not meant his rebuttal to service, and we've shown that there is huge discrepancies in the evidence that he has submitted to the court. And once we get the discover subpoena back, that will be just icing on the cake.
Let me make one more point,
please.
Here. And it's that, you know, Uni called me out by name. He wanted to have at first it seemed like he wanted to have a discussion with me on this. He wanted me to go through step by step. This was his original complaint. My understanding is, from looking at his tweets and listening to some of his earlier periscopes, that he felt I hadn't gone step by step to the extent that a programmer could replicate my findings. Well, I thought I did. I thought I did pretty well.
Yes, you did.
But I was happy to, again, go through that step by step with him and answer any questions he has along the way, because I had already done the step by step thing. There's no sense in me doing that again. I just did it. There's no edits. There's no jump cuts. Like this comment from Zag Creations, like, obviously they didn't watch the video because there are no edits. There are no jump cuts. It's just me talking as I'm literally doing it from the website all the way to completion. So there's no point in me replicating that again. If you didn't trust me the first time, why not do this on a live stream and have this discussion with me? So he called me out, and I'm willing to have this discussion with no preconditions on my channel, just him and me talking and hashing this out. And now it seems like that's not good enough. Now suddenly there are preconditions on him even talking to me about it.
Why doesn't he just show us how to do this? Because when he was doing his video the other day, what he was showing was just his inability to understand what he was looking at. I'm not fronting you. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was morbidly wrong.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't see that, and I'm not going to comment on that. All I'm going to say is, I am willing to have this discussion with him again, even on my channel, with no preconditions. He can just come and talk to me. If he's not willing to do that, that is not me backing down from that discussion. Okay, that's him going and moving the goalposts to now have preconditions on having that talk when he originally called me out.
I agree.
And my understanding is, from what I've heard, that is not the first time this pattern of behavior has emerged.
Correct.
Yeah. He also said that in order for him to speak with you, like, I had to give him apologies for some things. But Uni, let me just tell you, just you know, between me and you, I'm not going to give you any apology. Go fuck yourself.
Apologize for what?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely
like,
not.
what?
Exactly.
Oh, well, here's the thing. He's also like, oh, well, he's also
Wait
like,
a second. Wait a second, Steve.
Yeah.
Wait a second, Steve. Uni, you're the fucking asshole that needs to apologize. Every time you open your mouth, it's like you're throwing shit out of it, and we have to clean it up. Thank you very much for making our lives more interesting. That's about all you've ever done.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm seriously never going to have a monetized video again. I'm telling you.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, I love people. No, it's cool, man. I told Reds before he came in to cut down the cursing because YouTube is having issues with it right now. But whatever. No, it's whatever.
Steve,
fuck it.
Steve,
no, fuck it. Whatever. We're already demonetized. Whatever. But hang on.
Steve, I don't really believe you on that, because you heard one of my shows.
Yeah, I don't.
And the only time we remain yellow monetization is when I either forget quest a review or when we talk about particular topics that the land side doesn't like.
You didn't see what happened to Leonard French, did you? Leonard French.
Yes,
Yeah, that sucks.
Yes, it did, but at the same time, I haven't noticed an issue with Mike.
Really?
And we don't hold it all.
Yeah,
keep in mind, YouTube does not apply their rules evenly.
I mean, I do got to fight them. Don't get me wrong, but all my
they
things
do
are about
the exact opposite of
I
being
find it.
even-handed.
Yeah, I mean, I do fight them and they do come back green, but I'm just saying initially they go yellow and then You lose all
Well,
those. But anyways,
well,
let me continue where I was
avoid-
at, though. I want to continue where I was at because never mind.
To avoid any more nonsense, I'm going to bow out. I said everything that I needed
right.
to say. So have a good one, people.
All right, think about it. We're going to bring it to a close, but I keep losing my train of thought. What the hell? I keep losing my train of thought. Whatever.
Do you know how hard it is to break a habit of cussing at will?
No, I know, dude. No, I know. But I know what it was. Yeah. See, Uni keeps bringing up stuff like, "Oh, we've proven that Steve has faked emails and screenshots." No, he didn't. That has never happened. He can't prove something that doesn't exist. He can't prove something that is fundamentally not true. And that's what he keeps going back to. And he's like, "Oh, well, Steve needs to apologize."
If you're going to bring that up, then by all means bring the proof for that along with you at the same time. Because if you're going to bring that up without it, there's no point in even talking to you because...
Yeah, he's just an idiot. But he's like saying, "Oh, Steve needs to apologize for that." BS, I've never, ever, ever, ever done anything like that. Everybody knows this. And him running that narrative makes him look even dumber. And there's no way in hell people are going to apologize for things that they don't do. It's not going to happen. I mean, he has never shown these things that I faked anything at all. Matter of fact, I've been talking to some people today about after we do this stuff with Kyle and after all this goes through, we will be readdressing certain things with Flossie's permission. Okay. But until we have that, until this resolved, we are not addressing certain things out of respect for her, which is, of course, what UNIRock doesn't have because she has asked not to talk about it, but UNIRock doesn't care about that. Flossie has a great amount of respect for me, and I reciprocate that with her. However, we may after all this readdress things, but it certainly will be on our schedule, not his. But this narrative that I've ever faked anything or the people I associate with faked anything is 100% conclusively wrong. And he's never provided any evidence to the contrary, and he can go fuck off, straight up fuck off, as we would say. Yeah, we already demonetized. But okay, so where are we at, guys?
So apparently, Vodka in the chat said that I guess on the Rock-A-Lot channel, he's got a thumbnail now up for a stream that I see is now starting in 63 minutes with Astronomy Lies in the title. Astronomy Lies 2020.
You liar.
Simp Scope. So he's, I guess, saying I'm a simp because I have a telescope.
You're a simp. No, you're a simp.
I don't know.
You're a simp because, well, I don't know what the hell he I don't think he understands what that word even means. He uses words way atypically. I don't think he understands what simp actually
that's
is.
an understatement.
Yeah, I know.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Like the sea lion
did
you
you
got
see that
wrong
tweet?
too.
Did you see the tweet Golden Unicorn put out?
No.
She used another fancy word. Well, wait and see how long it takes for UNIRock to latch onto this word, braggadocious.
Braggadocious is fancy to the UNIRock?
I give
That's
it till
what we're
tomorrow.
hoping.
Okay.
That's what we're hoping.
I mean, like he got sea lion wrong. He didn't understand what that meant. And he certainly, I don't think he understands what simping is. But I mean, even still, if he thinks that Astronomy Live is lying or wrong, go for it. He wants to discuss things. He wants to debate. He's challenging me to a debate on Modern Day Debate, but I'm like, I ain't gonna waste my time with him. He would never show anyways. We already know this. He's just ridiculous when he throws these things out there. But you can see here he was offered to talk to Astronomy Live on his channel or on Red's channel or to Ruhif. Either one of them would have had a discussion with him. And by the way, Ruhif was trying to get into Uni's Discord if Uni would allow it. They don't want him in there. So yeah, he's just absolutely dishonest. So here's what Uni does. Let me make this very clear. Uni wanted me to make video for video, where he would say something, I would respond, go back and forth, and me and Manya both said, we're not into that because you put out misinformation. So we decided to ignore him for like a year. If you guys notice, he's made 1 million videos about me, right? Now he's going to say, well, it wasn't 1 million, it was only like 100. Whatever, I'm being hyperbolic, right? But he's made several, I would say it's probably around 100 videos, give or take, especially if you include the periscopes, right? I wasn't going to respond to any of that, right? Until recently, well, all of a sudden my daughter's being involved, and he is fostering, and yes, I do blame him. He's fostering a narrative that's false. He's accused me of false things. He's accused me of faking things I never faked. And he's going after my friends and family. And I'm not saying that he's going after my daughter, but he is going after me, which affects my reputation. And he's absolutely wrong. And yes, I am now fighting back. The best way to do that is just slow burn and basically show step by step how he's gotten stuff wrong, which is what he's wanted from the beginning. I get this. People have told me, Steve, why are you bothering with him? The reason is because before we ignored him and he was just allowed to proliferate on it. Now we're not ignoring him. We're going to give him what he wants, but we're going to show all this before we start NonSequitur again, so we don't have to deal with it then. And people can go back and watch all these things and show just how dishonest he has been for the last year, supporting a person who has committed fraud. And that's just not hyperbole. Kyle has committed fraud. That is in the court records. He committed fraud, fraudulent conversion, which is the civil equivalent of embezzlement, unfair and deceptive trade practices, breach of fiduciary duty, and breach of contract. And UNIRock.
And not only is it true by law, but he actually did it too.
Yes, and he actually did it.
Funny.
Yes,
it's kind of funny how that works out. And you and I both know that because we were there, Steve.
Absolutely, I know for a fact that he did it. We know every step of the way how what happened. And so yes, he was found liable of these things, and UNIRock has been supporting him. But let me tell you my prediction, Bull. You want to hear it? There will become a time. There will become a time, because this is what UNIRock always does, that he throws people under the bus, and just turns on them. He'll have no choice but to turn on Kyle. Then he'll make several videos about him, and say, "Hey, look how awesome I am. I've got more information now. The Discover things came back and showed conclusively that he did forge things. The judge has shown that service was proper, ruled against Kyle, sending it to the DA, criminal charges. He'll at some point have to acknowledge all this, because he'll look like even more of an idiot if he doesn't. So I think he will turn, but he's laying the groundwork now, because he's like, well, if I'm shown evidence, I'll confront Kyle. If Kyle forged these things, I'll confront him. I'll have him come on and log in, which I don't think he would do right now anyways, but let's say that he did. Yeah, he's laying the groundwork for that. I'm telling you.
But then there's
I don't trust him.
Then there's that other tweet that said, I will never betray Kyle, or something along those
Everything
lines.
he says. Yeah, how many tweets has he had that does not age well? Oh, Ben is out. As confirmed. Yeah, literally. That's what he does. Then he'll just say, "Oh, that was a joke." He'll just say, "Oh, I was just kidding about that." Of course I'm going to turn. I'm going to throw him under the bus if he deserves it, and find out he's fake. Yeah, he doesn't stick by anything he says.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's the problem. You can't really tell where he's going to go unequivocally, but
yeah, but I want people to see that this is the kind of duplicitous people that we're dealing with. I mean, that's it. That's all I give a crap about. And he'll get views out of it. He'll get 100, 200 people watching. I don't care. I really don't. If people want to spend money on that, go for it. I mean, if they want to spend money on vape and drama for donos, go for it. And also for Kyle's, there's this weird thing about him saying, "Oh, well, Steve's doing this because he doesn't want Kyle to get a defense fund." I couldn't give a rat's ass. If people want to spend money on Kyle, go for it. I find it simply hilarious, because the end result was he got a lawyer, and now he's facing criminal charges. That worked out really well for him, didn't it?
Yeah, if he had just turned it over, nobody would have ever noticed that this shit just happened. Like, we would have never found this if he had just followed the court order.
Yeah, so, I mean...
It's amazing. It's amazing how easy it is to save face when you do the right thing from the beginning.
Yeah.
Which we have been doing. In fact, Bull Nerd and myself, Reds, we've been honest from day one. People know this. This is all coming out. And so... we want justice to be done. Now, granted, do I want that justice to include actual retributive type justice? Yeah, in some ways, for all the things that he has done to me and done to the community. Should he be held accountable? Absolutely. That's justice to me. He should be held accountable. There's no doubt by the actual evidence that he has edited these things. The lawyer has actually confirmed that the fonts had been changed originally. They're normal now after 2020, after he did change his address. But prior to that, the fonts did not match what we submitted to the court, and the fact that the IMB was different from the zip code, so the written zip code. So we know that, and plus with the touch-up edits that Astronomy Live has shown exactly how they're done. There's no ambiguity there. This is enough for the judge to send to the DA. Simple as that. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, my lawyer is not so much. He's not concerned about service. It's more like, can Kyle keep himself out of jail? We don't think so. We don't think so.
Yeah, I just want to. I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but show me where I was rude to Uni or disrespectful to him in any way. I don't think
You said he was wrong.
Yeah, he has a fragile ego. You got to remember, Uni has a very fragile ego.
Did I even use those words?
I don't know if you specifically said it wrong.
No,
but you were trying to.
You were trying to correct him. Yeah. That makes you persona non grata.
Yeah.
So he he, on his Periscope stream earlier tonight, he made it seem like, oh, I'm nice to you. I'm being respectful to you because you're being respectful for me. But it's really nice of me to be doing that because I don't have to do that. Well, I guess that's kind of gone out the window now, calling me a liar in this thumbnail. We'll see what he says in the stream.
I'm not going to watch his stream tonight. I'm not even going to bother.
Again, I just want to make it clear, like, I did not do anything to provoke that, okay? I have been nothing but respectful to him in this discussion. And honestly, I've just had an open invitation for him, and it's been refused. So,
well, there's not much you can do about that, man. Yeah,
there's nothing more I can do about that. And the thing is, if it's all because I associate with you guys,
no, it's not.
Again, Steve, how much do I talk to you?
Oh God, I haven't. Be honest, I don't think I've talked to you this year, have I?
I don't know.
It's been a while. It's been several months.
Very long time. And Red, the reason I met him is because we both film rocket launches. We have a shared interest there, and that's where we spend most of our time talking to each other.
Yeah. And I don't do a lot with the rocket. I mean, by the way, I would love to have more conversations with you. It's just your fields of interest are just divergent. But you have a lot more in common with Reds. But I've always had the utmost respect for you. We've always got along. But we don't hang out.
Right. And so this notion that I'm like hanging out with you guys nightly or something, and that I'm all in this group, that doesn't even apply to me.
No.
Okay. I'm mostly just an outside observer in examining the evidence, and here's my conclusion.
But here's the problem. He's lying to you about that. That's not. He's just using it as deflection. Okay. That's it. You got to remember, UNIRock will never engage with somebody one-on-one where he knows he's wrong, because he just gets his ass handed to him. It's time and time again. He's just using that to deflect. I can tell you right now, he will never bother with any of that. It doesn't matter who you're associated with. He has to find some excuse. He's done it to everybody.
That's certainly the feeling I get. That's the feeling I get, is that this whole thing is now a fishing expedition for some excuse on which to cannonball me or attack me.
Yes. Yes. I mean, Jared's have seen it. Bullinair's seen it. I've seen it. Red's seen it. My audience has seen it.
There's a new word for you, UNIRock: cannonball. Just saying.
I don't know why, but for some reason, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney popped into my head as I was saying that sentence. I don't know why.
Let's be honest. UNIRock's favorite word is also his favorite activity: snowball.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, then.
So much for even now being monetized for any reason.
They don't know what that means, but
hey,
yeah, he's a LARPer.
That's why I picked that one.
Yeah, Mikhail, she said it right. I mean, he's a LARPer. I've been saying this forever. Let me make it very clear to you, Astronomy Live. What Jason does is he runs a story, okay? And he's done this for years. And before he even met me, if you go look at the Phoenix Enigma, they did a whole story on it, or still a paragraph on his blog. He basically makes up story time. And he's an agent provocateur. He tries to make up stories to get people to have conflict within a group, and then he tries to profit off that by getting the people that are that stupid to believe him. That's what he does. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating here. I'm not trying to be mean. This is not hyperbole. That is how he has always been on YouTube. When I found out,
we kind of confirmed that when we talked to Defango, basically.
Oh yeah, Defango, yeah, and I didn't know Defango at the time, and he literally said the exact same thing.
Yeah. Tried to tell you guys a year ago. Which, by the way, supposedly he was working on an expose video against me. It's been 13 fucking months.
There's no money in it for him. He's catering to the fuck Steve crowd, right? He's catering to the people that, for some reason, have issues with me because they have issues with integrity, would say they don't have. The people that are going around making fake accounts, people going around making impersonation accounts, people going around going to forums on legal firms trying to pretend to be me. Those kind of people, they conglomerate together.
Oh, completely agree. But still, it's just one of those things that we can point out that he's full of shit.
Yeah.
When he says he's going to do something, he doesn't actually mean it.
So where do we go from here, guys? I mean, like I said, we're not doing this for UNIRock. We're not doing it for his people that follow him because, again, none of them give a crap about this. And this is not technical stuff. I mean, yeah, I guess a little bit. I mean, if you want to actually do this, there's a technical expertise of some sorts. I mean, I'm finding out to be very difficult installing the Python paths correctly. However, conceptually, it's not that hard.
Conceptually, no, it isn't that hard. It's essentially you're looking at the log file of that PDF. That's essentially what you're doing.
Yeah,
when you pull it through there.
It's the PostScript PDF log file. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, essentially, and the log logs the changes, and every time there's a change, there's touch-up text in it.
So why was UniRock thinking that code was actual code that generated the PDF?
Because I think, like you said, I think he's got it backwards on how PDFs actually work. Completely backwards.
Because that's what he seemed to be arguing, that we were arguing that Kyle went in and typed all that out and manually changed the code, and we're like, what? That's just stupid.
Kyle doesn't even have the expertise to type that code in that fashion, even wrong.
He could barely use Photoshop. Come on.
Right, it's so funny because the thing that he showed that he did log in, that people were like, oh well, was that Photoshop? You could see, as you pointed out and Sean pointed out, you can see those different magnification things on there, buttons, which was weird. You wouldn't expect that. That was odd. Reed Chabot, $5. Uni can't talk to you, Astronomy Live, because he doesn't know it. He just repeats what he is told. That's very true. He seriously doesn't understand what the concepts. You Reed, you're very much correct. Uni will not do one-on-ones because he doesn't understand this. He relies on his crack team of people that tell him stuff, who, by the way, either A, don't know what they're doing, B, lying to him, C, both. And he just says, well, my people told me this. And he, as a very dishonest person, does not verify anything. Right? I mean, look, if I said Astronomy Live told me something, I know he has an expertise in this particular topic. So yes, I will run with that a little bit, right? But I still would like to do some due diligence to verify it myself, merely so I can say I've checked it myself, right? I don't want to take anybody at face value, but he has an expertise, which I will defer to. The people he's claiming have an expertise don't seem to have it.
Yeah. No, and where's the comment that I actually wanted to call BC randomly, the moment he realized he could make more money being anti-Steve than being anti-Kyle and anti-KJP, he flipped. Yeah, except here's the really funny part about that. He had to make a new channel. And look at the subscriber count, which he loves to tout, of just the 3 visible channels. Significant drops at each one.
Yeah, and the only people are tuning. And again, there's a double-edged sword to be have. It's almost like the Streisand effect. We understand, we get this, that by talking about the mistakes and the inconsistencies and the misunderstandings that UNIRock has, he's going to get views out of it. We do understand this. We had to weigh the pros and cons a long time ago, and I have talked to Reds and Chesh and Bull and Sweet and other people involved in this. We as a group decided, if we're going to be talking about it, let's do it all now to show all the errors that he makes, get it out of the way so we can move forward after the case is done and people can go back and watch these things after the fact. Because at that point, I think UNIRock is going to be irrelevant. He'll try to move on. He'll find another group to try to garnish some idiots.
He's a leech.
He's a leech. He literally takes the dumb of the dumb, right? Again, we have talked about the cultivations versus culling, right? We cultivate people that are intelligent, that are honest, that are logical. He culls those people, like he blocked Astronomy Live, right? And then he cultivates the people that are not going to ask the difficult questions, that don't even understand how to ask the difficult questions. And then he has the audacity to project that, saying, oh, well, Steve and all those guys are echo chambers. And yet here we are saying, hey, go talk to them. Come, ask us questions. Nobody's ever been blocked for asking an honest question. They'll get blocked for sea-lining and being dishonest. But clearly Astronomy Live wasn't when he got blocked.
I've been blocked. I've been blocked for simply saying hi.
Yeah, I mean, if people ask honest questions, we answer, and they won't. When has Jason, again, let me make this very clear, when has Jason actually done what Astronomy Live has done right here? To show us what results that we can emulate them.
Never that I've seen.
All he did was go into the text code and started babbling about touch-up edits, getting completely wrong, not understanding what he's looking at, and then admitting, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't work with Adobe. I rely on other people. Other people tell me this. It's like, well, then why are you pontificating upon it?
I mean, if he's got actual legitimate experts counseling him on that, that's fine. But he should have them on so that they can explain it and they can be questions on.
I'd be fine with that.
I'm here. Anyone can question me on what I'm saying. critique my work. That's fine. I make my programs open source anyway. So, I think we might have mentioned it at the beginning of the stream, but this ISS thing you're seeing right now, yeah, that was tracked with my software, stabilized with my software. That's entirely my work with my telescope. So, proof is in the pudding there.
So has his crack team ever done any software like that? Because I sure haven't seen it. We don't even know whose crack team are. I mean, it's like these imaginary people. Now, do I know who he's referring to? I have an idea. But again, they're not what I consider to be like you, a coder. They might have some experience with HTML and XML and some other things, but not what I would expect for somebody who knows how to program in Python or look at the PostScript PDF data and go, oh, yeah, this touch-up was computer generated. No, it clearly wasn't. That's not how any of that works. But anyways, we'll leave it at that. Let's kind of wrap it up because it is getting late, and I don't want this to go on forever because I think we've kind of touched on it enough. Hopefully by next time we stream, we'll have the Discover subpoenas back. We have also the Amazon subpoena in. That one takes a little bit longer, and Zell has gotten back to us again, and I think they're going to try something else to try to get back to us to show that the Zell payments were not correct. But by the way, we also know that the Amazon was not correct as well. That has some huge issues. So we're waiting for that subpoena to show that was altered as well. But let's go through the line. Jared, you got anything you want to add?
It's not often I actually get to and actually take the opportunity to do it, but kind of told you so.
Oh, no. I give a lot of people the benefit of the doubt. Look, I have a lot of people that I deal with, okay? And of course, not everybody gets along with each other. Let's put the cards on the table. I have issues now with people that, I like both people, and yet they don't get along with each other, or there's issues. And this is ubiquitous when you deal with so many people online, okay? Yep. I am not everybody's brothers and their keepers, okay? I'm just not. I don't get involved with everything that comes down the pike. For example, I'll give a perfect example. This is probably going to run a little bit longer than I wanted, but a perfect example is what happened with the EIE. I was filled in with it. I wasn't a part of it. I wasn't much I can weigh in on it. All I let people know, like Bullinator and Chess know, is, hey, tell Moon that I support her. That's it. That's all I got to weigh in on. I support Moon on all this. I wasn't going to go into great detail. They knew I was dealing with this other stuff. They weren't going to get me involved in it, and I respect that, right? But I can't dive into every issue that's going on. It doesn't mean I'm not aware of it. Doesn't mean I don't feel for it. I love Moon, and I stand by her 100%, but I can only have so many battles at once and so many fires to put out. Does that sound bad? Because I hope it doesn't.
Oh, no, I completely understand. People have to realize that just because some people are more prominent on YouTube than others doesn't mean there's not a life away from the computer screen going on. And I know this is going to come out as haughty, and I don't mean it to be, but I am busy a lot of hours during the day. Today, I had one phone call after another that I had to go do, and then I had my ATA. Then we did we had an after meeting. Then I have Reds calling me and Chess, and I'm calling Chess, and it's an all day event for these things. And so I'm not trying to say that my time is super valuable. That's not my point. It's just that I can only do so much, and I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, I'm trying to respond to emails. People know if they message me, they're going to get a response. Like 95% of the time, anybody who messages me has always got a response. And that's one thing I do pride myself on, much more than I've seen other creators. I like to keep in touch with the people that subscribe to me. In fact, everybody that is in my live chat right now that has messaged me has gotten some type of response, I'm pretty damn sure. And by the way, I don't know what it is about my subs. I just can't win with that. I really can't. I asked today on Twitter. I said, hey, look, I'm on that cusp, where if you lose one, it says you lose 100. If you gain one, you gain 100. I was like, can I get like 20 where it's not fluctuating like that? And they're like, yeah, we'll send out tweets and we'll retweet and let's get some subs. You know how many subs I got today? -1. I can't win. I don't know what it is. I suck at promotions, dude. I cannot, for the life of me, figure out how to get just like 20 subs. I'm not asking for like 1,000 or even 100. I was trying to get 20 subs. I suck at it. I give up. But anyways, that's my position. So, Bullinator, what do you got for us?
Just this. If you're listening to somebody who says they're an expert or that they know an expert, make sure you get that expert's opinion directly from them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Otherwise, it's hearsay. Jason saying he knows a coder or has a code team is meaningless without that team present.
Why is it
really
why is it he always
is.
says, I have a source, I have a spy, someone told me, according to people I've talked to, people in my Discord. That's it. Nothing ever specific.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed too, Steve, is that somehow these experts always know more than the people who are directly involved in the case, i.e. you, me.
Odd, isn't
even
it?
Even Kyle, they know more than apparently.
Well, apparently, like, it was sealed. Apparently, that my lawyer and Ben didn't even know that because it didn't happen. But according to inside sources that Uni has,
and this has been going on since this whole thing started. The first person to do it was Katie Joy Paulson. Well, it's been decided. That's what I was told. Well, if it was decided back in what was that, July of 2019, then why the heck are we having this hangout now? Katie, kind of sad.
Speaking about hangouts, like Anonymous Insect, we play games, right? We play Remnant, and thank you for not. I haven't really been able to do much with games, but I would be like, hey, we're having a super secret meeting, and we'd be like playing games, but Jason and I'm not kidding, they are Alex Jones level conspiracy nutters, all of them. They're on the understanding of and they always talk about us being flat earthers, which is just absurd because how many people are inviting them to come on to debunk anything ever? Never, right? Never happens. But they're the ones that are literally not understanding the most simplest concepts, get no understanding of a reasonable line of inference, and then they project it on other people. And so they have this weird conspiracy. Like the other night, Bull, I even said in the video, I have to private this. I'm going to blur it out, and they're going to watch them. They're going to go lose their shit on it. They did. And even though I blurred it out, and then I put it back, just like I said I was going to do. If people haven't figured it out, I'm direct, and I don't bluff, and I don't make shit up, and I don't exaggerate. I just tell it the way it is. I mean, yeah, I have some hyperbole, sure, who doesn't? But I mean, if I say that's the reasons, they question everything that I do. But you and other people know for years. The most ironic part is I am overly truthful that I need to be. And that presents a problem. I admit that. But they don't know how to deal with anybody like that. They don't get that. To them, they don't think that anybody could be like you or I that prefer honesty over doing what they do. They are this way. They know that they're this way. And because of that, they think that everybody else has to be. I'm convinced of that.
It's projection big time.
Yeah. Vibrant Brantley for $2.02. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. That's cute.
Nice.
That's funny. All right. Let's see who else we got in here. I think it's Astronomy Live left, right?
Yep. The man of the hour.
All right. So you what do you got for us? And say what you got to say, but don't get the hell out.
Okay. Well, I guess I feel like a lot of unwanted attention is now going to be coming my way, and this all started simply because I was trying to verify a claim. I mean, at the end of the day, I was just replicating results. That's all I did. And for that, now I have this trouble to deal with. Now, I don't think Uni has, I guess I should hold my tongue on that. I'll put it this way. I don't think that the people who will be, no doubt, attacking me after the night have the ability to do any actual damage to my reputation. I'm not too worried about that. But this is not this isn't me endorsing everything Steve has ever done or anything that Boole has ever done or anything anyone in this stream has ever done. Okay, this is not my endorsement of them in any way, other than I verified this evidence. It checked out. Sure enough, this seems to be how these documents were altered. Okay, that's all I came with, and of course that is over the line. That's unacceptable to some people. And I guess we can't have a civil discussion about that, but I will continue to remain professional in my way of trying to handle this, even if it isn't reciprocated. That's just my style. So if you come on my channel, like, that's the thing you'll see is I don't use foul language, and I try to keep everything very family-friendly, PG rated in my videos, and I'm going to continue to do that. And I'm just going to keep doing my thing. I'm going to keep tracking the space station, rockets, and all that good stuff. and making cool stuff for people to use in terms of programming to enable that kind of thing. And I just do this as a hobby. I do use programming at my work, but my work is unrelated to this kind of stuff. I just saw an opportunity here to apply those skills for a moment. It didn't really take much skill, to be honest, to do this, but I saw an opportunity here to say, okay, well, I could really easily check this. Let's see if it's true or not. Sure enough, this is how it was edited. Like, it's really not hard to figure out, and everything points to editing for deceptive reasons, to portray something to the court that was not true. And I have every confidence that when the subpoena comes back from Discover, it's going to reveal a very different story than what was originally presented to the court, and that's going to have disastrous ramifications. As far as Uni goes, I mean, this is the guy who said that Ben was out, right? That he wasn't going to testify.
Yep.
What
Ben
happened
had
to
no
that
idea
narrative?
where he got that from. Ben was straight up like, who the hell does I even talk to? I'm like, I don't know who he's referring to, dude.
So what happened to that narrative? Where's the retraction and apology on that? Did I miss that, or did that just not happen?
It was an AI that actually went to the deposition. It was a replicant. It wasn't actually Ben. Yeah.
I guess so.
Is that really that far fetched from everything else that he said? But he actually said, he literally has said that Discover altered the evidence, forged the documents. That's what he said. Discover forged the document. His words.
Well, here's the thing I know about billing systems and all that stuff that's generated automatically in that PDF. It would be consistent. Every single bill that Discover sets out is going to, if there's an error in there, it's going to be on everybody's Discover bill that month, or a subset of some zip code or some last name or some account number series, or there's going to be some commonality for that error. It's not going to go back and use something to touch up, they would regenerate a bill if it was generated incorrectly. They would just literally dump that PDF and create a new one. And it would have no edits in it either.
But the touch-ups are from an editor. The touch-ups are from not computer generators. It's from an editor.
The touch-ups themselves are literally from a human usable editor. And that is not what a bank would use to generate a statement.
I want to point out one thing, and then I want to ask one last question to Astronomy Live where we have him here. But one thing I will point out, that somebody has to say, well, how do you know that Kyle forged this? Let's say, just arguendo, that it wasn't Kyle that did it. What we do know for a fact is Kyle submitted it to the court in February of 2019, or 2020.
Yeah, what difference does it make who edited it?
Hang on, but let's run with this narrative. If Kyle was not the one that edited it, somebody else did, and gave it to Kyle, Kyle was still very much cognitively aware that it has been forged. Does that take any ethical difference whatsoever? Does that minimize his complicity in crime, in committing a crime? The answer to that is no. Okay, absolutely not.
He's the one that said on an affidavit, this is true to the best of my knowledge.
And that would be a lie.
Then that would be a lie.
Even if he did say, I didn't edit it, and let's say that is the truth. Let's say somebody else did. Again, far-reaching, but plausible at least. Let's say that is the case. He did say in an affidavit, to the best of his ability or knowledge, he did not know why the IMB did not match the zip code. Did he not? Yes, he did. That was a lie. That's perjury. Because he did know. If somebody else edited it, he would know this. So people had kind of don't seem to realize that on the other side of the fence over at Jason's realm of make-believe. So one last question to Astronomy Live there. If this was to go, and I'm pretty well certain it's going to be, but if this goes to a criminal court case and they get an expert to come in, is this not the exact type of methodology that the expert would use? And by the way, Uni was wrong again in the fact that we did not go find that case and then found all this. That was found after we found all this, and gave us more evidence that, yes, this is the exact way a court would verify this. So it wasn't like we found the Bitcoin case first. We found that afterwards. Of course, Jason was wrong on that. But would this be exactly how a actual expert would testify to the judge that these were edited?
Well, I'm not going to, again,
to the best of your ability.
I'm not going to speculate on what a witness in a court would say, just because I don't have any experience with that kind of forensic analysis, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Okay.
And I stumbled across the same thing you did after I verified this. I mean, And then I realized you guys had already seen this about the Bitcoin thing. But
But we saw that afterwards. As when our research of doing this, because this took a few weeks to get all this compiled. We were looking into that, and then we found that case, and then we were like, oh, this is actually how that was discovered, that this email had been altered in that $1 billion court case.
Yeah. So it does seem like this has come up before. This has been the thorn that caught somebody who was trying to alter documents and present them to the court that way. It's not the first. I guess it's not the first time somebody's thought, hey, I'll just go into Acrobat and change it to what I need it to be and then submit it.
And not realizing that there's a paper, there's a trail that, and by the way, the reason they have this trail is because Adobe is used to sign things and is used to make contracts. And so they had put in a safeguard that if the contract or things had been changed in the PDF after it was created, there's a record of this in the PDF that you can extract.
So I'm going to put out a challenge to Uni now and all of his supporters, because I've got Zag still writing me messages on Twitter, on Twitter, saying that that this is the bank that did it. That the bank.
Well, before you do that, let me remind you that these people like Zag or those people, they're probably people that don't care for the truth. They're probably Uni or somebody very close to Uni, like Menace, or there are people on fake accounts all the time. Agrippa, these all people have made multiple fake accounts. So the person you're dealing with, they're probably somebody that we already know. Just keep that in mind.
That very well may be, but I'm just going to treat this totally professionally and I'm just issuing a challenge here. Like, do the thing I did basically, but do it with an actual bank statement downloaded directly from a bank. Show me an example of someone going to their bank website, downloading the PDF of their statement, running it through Python code, just like I showed in one continuous shot, and show me that it shows the same tag, this touchup_text edit tag, anywhere in their bank statement that they downloaded directly from their bank. I challenge anyone to show me that. I did it with my own statements, haven't found that yet. If you can show me that, fine. I'll accept that the bank could be doing this. But I have not seen any example of that.
Well, and it would be kind of weird, though, that bank's doing it with just the exact information, like changing the name to putting Benjamin in, and the amount that happens to be the exact amount for what he claimed to be rent. By the way, there's only one comment on 1,400 pages dealing with rent. And it was well explained before that Ben was saying, well, if you're going to be staying here squatting, you might as well pay me something. That's what he was referring to. There was no talk of them moving in together. There was, it was basically, I'm going to come visit you, I'll stay, and then he had to go back home. He admits to being home, like 2 days after he was served. Everything doesn't match what Kyle's story is. Nothing matches Kyle's story. So, but yeah, okay. So what? So your challenge to them is just to find a bank statement that has it in there, I guess, right?
Yeah, show it just like I did. Okay. Go onto the website, show yourself going to the website, show yourself downloading it, running through Python, and then immediately getting that same result of a touch-up text.
Yeah, I want to do that too. I want to practice it, but the problem, like I said, the problem is I'm having some issues setting up some of the paths, but I'll work on that later. I got to probably figure it out. It's just, it's not just me, right? I mean, it's not. I am not considering myself an idiot. This is difficult to set up, isn't it?
It can be, especially in Windows. The way I did it was through, so I just have Python running in Windows normally. I have done it, I mean, I've got Linux installations on other computers, and I run it natively there. I don't run it as a shell so much. But
yeah, I usually run Linux native as well, but I didn't want to on this computer system.
Right. So I would recommend Chocolatey is my golden bullet solution, my silver bullet solution for installing Python on Windows. Instead of running it in the Linux shell, just run it in Windows natively, installing it with Chocolatey. Once you get Chocolatey installed, which is a pretty simple process, it makes installing Python as easy.
Okay, I'm going to try with that then, because I'm doing it. I'm doing a piecemeal. I have a visual shell that I'm using, but it's just fine. It's having some problems with the pathing, and that's going to be the issue. But okay, so anyways, guys, thanks for watching this. We'll let you know if there's any more updates. I think that the update for today was pretty important, though. The fact that the fonts on the ones that Kyle did give to us after the year from February, I don't think he gave us January. I don't know if he gave us January. I was told February of 2020 onwards. Those all had what you would expect be the similar fonts in the Futura book. So that's what we would expect, because he did change it after that. We know that he did. We knew that for a very long time. And we also would expect that the ones prior to that would, if he had altered them, have indications of being altered, such as having an Adobe font in there rather than the Microsoft font that it comes with on the PDF, and the fact that he would not give us the originals. He's just adamant about that. He's not going to give us the originals. We are going to get them through Discover directly, but that is what we'd expect if he is unable to give us the originals, because doing so would be incriminated, would incriminate him. However, we did ask for them, right? I mean, the deposition says you have to turn these things over. He has violated that. And that in itself is going to be something the judge has to look at by going, hey, why have you not turned this over? My lawyer was straight up saying to him, this is nonsense. Your reasoning for not turning over the request for production of documents is, quote, nonsense. The judge is going to be very, very well aware of that. All right, guys. Good night. Like, subscribe. Please leave comments. Let me know what you think. And if anybody can get me, right now, I think I need four more subs. That's it. 4 subs. So just give me back to, I just, again, dropped down over 100. I hate this. I can't get subs. I don't know what it is. Whatever. Good night, guys.